Hello everyone, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Brittni Berry, owner and founder of Gain Knowledge Financial Services. I'm here, my hometown, my city, Los Angeles, California, where it's always hot and beautiful at. My goal is to, take you guys in the day in the life of me, show you how I do my consultations, let you know the importance of credit, the ins and outs, how it all works. So please follow me on this journey today. If you don't have too much time today, but you know you gotta contact me, my phone number is gonna be below. My email address is info@GainKnowledgeFS, Instagram, GainKnowledgeFS, Facebook, GainKnowledgeFS. So let's go. But wait, remember, we're trying to gain that generational wealth. We're trying to break those curses. We're trying to teach our kids, our grandkids, our mom, our daddy, our granddaddy, grandma. We're trying to teach everybody, baby, so come on and gain this knowledge. Hey everyone, good morning, good day, good afternoon. As you know, my name is Brittni. If you've been following me for a while, many of you do see me post a lot about contacting me for your free consultation. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview about what it's like for me to prepare for a client and what a quick rundown of a consultation looks like. As you hear, I got, my good old R&B music playing in the background. We're gonna get that turned off. I got my coffee, my water, my laptop. Here I got all my contact information, my phone number, email address, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you stay connected with me. Tag your friends, your family members, coworkers. I will start having some giveaways you definitely do not want to miss out on. So let's get it. Hello everyone, this is Brittni Berry, owner of Gain Knowledge Financial Services, where we provide services pertaining to financials such as credit restoration. We also do credit counseling, student loan help, financial advising, as well as personal and business taxes. All of my contact information is here. You can follow us on Instagram at Gain Knowledge FS, also on Facebook at Gain Knowledge FS, and email address info@gainknowledgefs.com, or you can call or text me directly at 310-743-7654. We do provide all of our clients with a free consultation.
So, okay, financial services, Gain Knowledge. Tell me about the background history of, where you got it from, the originating date, all that.
Okay, so basically the way it all came about is I was working for a job doing credit repair, and I had a lot of clients. Clients would always ask me, oh, do you offer this service? Do you offer that service? I would always tell my boss, like, hey, we should do this. A lot of people ask for it. We should do that. But our main focus at the company I was at was strictly credit repair, as well as some consulting, because they kind of go hand in hand. So it really got to the point where I wanted to offer more to my clients. I wanted to kind of handle my clients a little different from the way it was the company I was at. So I continued to learn while I was there working. I also did my own outside research, and then I told myself, January 1st, 2020, I'm on my own. I'm not gonna work for nobody no more. I'm gonna dive in. So I just started writing out my business plan. I started reading books. I started thinking about all the things I did not like the way we were doing things at my company, and the way I would do things differently once I did have my own company. So that's kind of how I implemented my services. And in terms of the name Gain Knowledge, I'm a firm believer of knowledge is power. The more you know, the better off you are. So Gain Knowledge Financial Services was the best name, because I don't want to just help you fix your credit. I don't want to just file your taxes. I don't want to just, help you with managing your financials. I want to make sure you gain that knowledge to know how to keep your credit good. I'm in the business of referrals. I don't want you as a repeat client. I want to teach you everything there is to know in terms of fixing your credit, what's important, what the creditors don't like for you to do, what they do like for you to do. I want you to know all the games. So if you're coming around here, you're definitely going to gain that knowledge to level up yourself and be the best you. That's what it all comes down. At the end of the day, we can only be the best version of ourselves. So.
Right. For me to say, okay, let's go, why should I commit myself to gain knowledge?
Because I'm for you. I'm for my clients. I'm very passionate about what I do. It's all about you. It's about your goals, what you want to do. And, we work as a team. It takes a team effort. I'm very, very hands-on with every single last one of my clients. I build a good rapport with everyone. And I understand that I have different types of clients. Some of them, you have to be a little more on top of them.
So, okay, real quick. Have you seen the YouTube series You?
I have not.
Nothing at all. You haven't seen no memes, nothing about you.
Well, some of this stuff, like the memes. It's Netflix, right? It's a movie or something?
Yeah. So, because the guy, he's just like super crazy. And you mentioned that you're for you. So, it's just like, as because the proper term, I'm sorry, that I will refer to you as is like your position and your title is what?
Well, I'm the owner, but just call me Brittni.
Well, like what would you be labeled as a financial consultant, as a financial advisor?
I let people pick whatever title they want from me,
Brittni,
honestly.
right?
Yeah, I'm just Brittni or BB.
Services for you, right?
Whenever people hear financials, I just want them Brittni.
Just Brittni.
Brittni.
Okay. All right. So, just back to just real quick to the guy, he would go above and beyond, like on some crazy stuff with this girl that he liked. And so it's like, in essence of credit, it's like you go crazy, to make sure that, my financial needs are met, the credit is taken care of. And on the other note, amongst your competitors, then you're going to do it, you're going to go above and beyond per se to serve your value to your client. Like, how is that?
Because this is what I do. Basically, like we're doing now, and we'll get more deep into your actual consultation. The first thing I want to know is what's going on with your credit. What are your credit goals? Is there something specific you want to do with your credit, or is it just time to fix your credit? A lot of other people are not going to ask those questions. They're just strictly going to fix your credit and send you on your way. A lot of companies don't have the time to, I don't want to say care about what you want to do, but I care. So that's why I have realtors, I have car salesmen, I have people that also do what I do, and don't do what I do. So I can refer you to people that I know on a personal basis because I care. And sometimes I find my clients, I'll tell you, hey, pay your stuff on time, pay your stuff on time. You won't pay it on time, but as soon as I see that late payment, I'm gonna call you. Hey, what's going on? You got a 30-day late payment. Other companies are not gonna put that much effort into making sure a client makes a payment on time or keeping their utilization down. But that just goes to my personality. I'm naturally a caring person, so that trickles into the way I conduct business.
Okay, so you mentioned that you're very personal, right? You're timely oriented, the effort that you give in.
Correct.
Like when we're not disciplined within our own self, you're going to call us.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You may pull up, you may pull you and get crazy on us, right?
Not too crazy, but just enough.
Just enough. Okay, that's I love it. That's awesome. So me, I really do have a problem with financial discipline. Financial discipline is my worst thing. Like, it's not that I can't handle and manage money. I've gotten better. It's even with time and being scatterbrained, like writing everything out. To be able to write things out and proceed with that to, know where my money is going, that I remember. What would be solution? What would be first steps that you would implement for me to get on board within whatever process that you have? What is the process?
So basically, and I'll touch more on in terms of staying on top of your financials, but pretty much the first thing I always want to know when, my clients or, people who I'm wanting to become clients, the first thing I want to know is what's going on with your credit. When's the last time you've put your reports? You don't know? It's okay. A lot of people don't know. I get that all the time. A lot of people have no idea what's going on with their credit.
What's going on with my credit? What's the score?
And not necessarily just in general. Do you not know?
I have general knowledge as far as the specifics. like, you know, what is like holding on. I just know, like, of course, like your school, your college debt,
Right.
some phone bills, like little BS stuff. Nothing too outrageous. More so I would believe just the student loans, which, you know, you have to get on them deferred plans. I got that taken care of, got that rolling. But outside of that, yeah, so I have the knowledge. Something after the knowledge, then comes the knowledge of where you stand with your finances, and then.
Okay, so what is it that you're trying to do with your credit? So you have a general idea. You mentioned your student loans, and you have some other little accounts that may be affecting your credit. So what do you want to do with your credit? Are you looking to purchase something soon, get into a certain program for school, or is it just time to fix your credit?
Well, so as far as getting into school, I would like to, you know, fulfill getting my master's, or just certain certificates within the field that I'm in.
Okay. And what is it that you do?
So videography, photography, in the digital industry.
Okay, let me check you out. Okay, you got that vision.
Young black entrepreneur.
I feel okay.
Happen, you know, so
I know that's right.
trying to get like you dig. But no, outside of that, I mean, I'm 31 and single, no kids.
Oh, you hear this? Like single, no kids. Okay, good job working on the masters. Come on.
You know so just really, I've come across women, which, in my opinion, we won't even go there. It's just the simple need of, as the man, as a point in life, you have to get down to the gritty. Get your house, get your apartment, whatever, your condo. You want to start having brick and mortar businesses, you know, just property, real estate. Just start building that wealth and gain more knowledge of how to acquire more, you know, monetary investments and things like that. Because it's just a big world out here. You know, when you gain knowledge, you want knowledge, it just makes you wiser. You want to, you know, go off and feed off into that.
Absolutely. And, you know, you're starting at the right time. You know, you may not specifically be ready to purchase a home, but you definitely want to get yourself set up for that. So basically the first thing we do is we pull your reports. I completely crunch your reports. I start with your personal information. If you look at your credit reports, you'll see your name is probably listed 20 different ways. Sometimes your middle name might be your first name. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways your name is listed on credit reports. Then also you'll see addresses. You'll see addresses you lived at when you were a kid, when you were in college, places you no longer live at. You'll also see old employers. So it's very important to keep that personal information updated on your credit reports. And that's stuff that people don't pay attention to. You also want to make sure that's updated because as we get older, we forget stuff. And if you try to apply for credit, a lot of times to verify your identity, they ask those questions that are listed on your credit reports. Have you ever lived at this address? Have you ever had this phone number? So it's very important that we keep that personal information updated. And then I'm going to let you know what positives is going on with your reports, if any. You know, if you have any existing credit cards that are in good standing, low balances, we'll go over all of that, and then we'll tie into the negative. If you have any collections accounts, if you have any charge-offs, you know, the status of your student loans, hard inquiries. You know, every time you run your credit, that's a hard inquiry. Each inquiry is about 2 to 5 points. So you definitely want to keep those inquiries low. So pretty much I crunch the entire reports and I go step by step with you to make sure you have a clear picture and know exactly what's going on with your credit right now. And then we figure out where we want to go, because you have to have that tunnel vision. You have to know where your endpoint is, and for you, your endpoint is your house. You know, getting into the master's program, making sure you're financially stable. And one thing that I found is by fixing your credit, by nature, it helps your financials tie into play, because once you get up to that, you know, 700 credit score, or your credit starts to improve, you don't want to go back down to the 4s and the 500s and even the 600s. So you make sure you pay your stuff on time. You make sure you keep your balances low, because you want to keep rising your credit score.
I'm just writing stuff down because this is like really has me.
Oh yes,
like,
of course. Go ahead.
Intrigued. Like, oh man, like, so for you, like, what was it for you? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you had bad credit.
Oh, I did. No sugarcoat. I did terrible.
Talk about it. I mean, when did that turn?
Terrible.
How was that test? What's your testimony?
Okay, so honestly, my credit education was probably like a lot of other people's. If you can't afford to pay cash, you don't need it. So that's that. That was the basis of what I learned in terms of credit.
You're being cliche.
No, I'm not.
You saying you ain't got cash, don't buy.
I'm gonna make sure I tag my mama on Facebook, and she will let you know. No, she told me, excuse my language, when your butt gets to college, they're gonna try to give you them credit cards. Don't do it. You can't afford to pay the people back. So I didn't listen to my mama. I mean, a lot of us don't listen to our mama when we're younger. So I remember my friend and I, we wanted to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain. For those that are not from California, Six Flags is an amusement park. I went to Macy's, got me a little credit card, $100 limit, you couldn't tell me nothing. So we bought these shirts so we could go to Six Flags. Of course, I never paid Macy's off. That was my first and only credit card at 18. Then after that, I never paid attention to credit because I always made good money. I was a workaholic. So if it took for me to work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week to get however much money I needed to buy my Jordans, to go party, to do whatever it was that I wanted to do, that's what I did. So when it was time to buy a car, if I had a high interest rate or if it was a large down payment, I didn't care about any of that. I didn't pay attention to it because I was like, whatever, I have the money, I'll pay it. So I went all these years with terrible credit, not paying attention to my credit. So finally, when I turned 30, I'm 33 now. Finally, when I turned 30, I was like, okay, this is a year I need to get my stuff together. I need to start working on my credit because I'm never going to be able to buy a house. I'm never going to be able to do stuff that I want to do with terrible credit because I started to see credit and hear credit pop up a lot more, apartments and this and that. So I told myself this year, I'm going to get my credit right. So I started to kind of, do a little bit of research on it. I was doing business development and I did not know that I kept my LinkedIn profile open to where I was looking for jobs. So a company reached out to me. They liked my customer service and sales experience and I was like, well, I don't really, know about credit. So they said it didn't matter. They could teach me all about credit. They liked my personality. They liked my skills, my sales background. And it was the perfect fit because they taught me everything from knowing how to read a credit report to just a lot of different stuff. And I became obsessive with it because it was already something that I said I wanted to do for myself. So the timing was perfect. And my credit score was in the low 400s. I'm not going to lie, low 400s. It's okay. Low 400s. So I did everything. Basically, it was a good learning step for me because I was learning and building my own credit while also helping clients. So I could relate with them.
Okay, me too.
Right. I came from not having that financial literacy, not being taught about credit, the importance, having terrible credit, getting inaccuracies removed off my report, outdated information, and building up, learning how to manage credit cards, knowing good debt, bad debt, collections, charge-offs. So I learned with my clients, and I'm happy I did because it was honestly it was a game changer because there's so many people out there that think the way I did, and they say, "Oh, I can afford it, so whatever it costs, I'll pay it." And that is a terrible mentality because if you went into a store and they were offering 20% off, you're not going to say, I don't want to take advantage of the sale because I can afford it. No, you want to pay the lower price for whatever it is you want to buy. So why should you pay more money for your house or your car just because you can afford it? It's not fair for those three little numbers to hold you back.
No, real talk. And a lot of people have been held back, are being held back.
Yes.
And just it's simply off of not knowing the real knowledge,
right,
and the fear of, being in the hole and not being able to get out.
Right. And there's so many misconceptions when it comes to credit and credit cards. People always think, oh no, I don't want to get credit cards. I don't want to owe anyone money. You have to know how to handle the debt, because there's good debt and bad debt. If you go and purchase a house, that's debt, but that's good debt because you're working towards purchasing your home. Every month when you pay that mortgage, that loan amount is going down, which is what we would call an installment. Same with a car note, it's a set amount. Every month you're paying it, it's going down. Where it gets tricky and where people get tied up into too much debt is when you have your revolving accounts. Revolving is your credit cards, your department store cards. I tell people, only spend what you have. So let's say you're planning a trip. You've been saving up for this trip. You have the money in your pocket. It's okay if you have a credit card to use your credit card, because a lot of credit cards offer rewards, points, cash back, things like that. So if your flights cost $500 and you have, a high enough limit to cover the $500 on your credit card, use your credit card. Get those reward points. 2-3 days later, use your cash and pay off your credit card. Don't use the credit card as if it's free money, because it's not free money. You have to know how to handle the credit cards. And this is all stuff that I teach my clients once you're on board. I don't throw it all at you at once because it can get very overwhelming. So as you progress, that's what we learn. I teach you, this month, I always tell my clients, this is what I want you to focus on this month. This is what I want you to focus on this month. And that's how you gain that knowledge in terms of, managing your finances, you should be very comfortable with keeping all your credit cards on auto pay. Why? Because you're not going to use money you don't have. You're only using the credit cards for money you do have.
That's legit. My grandfather, to go into the mom story, my grandfather used to always say that too when I was in college, and I guess that was because you went to the opposite SWAC school, unlike Grambling.
Here we go, TSU.
If you were at Grambling High School,
TSU Tigers.
You might have listened to your mother more.
Okay.
My grandfather, and I got that 18 credit card.
See, okay, we're not gonna touch on that.
Okay, so just like a lot of people go back and forth whether or not to get that credit card at 18, or I was told don't get a credit card, it's gonna mess you up, and I've never got one. I've never got one credit card.
Right.
Then I was being told you need to get one to start establishing credit, start establishing loyalty. And so some of my friends was like, oh, get a gas card, oh, get a small dealer's card or something like that. So, but I never proceeded.
Right.
So it's just like for someone, how do you start now? Now I'm here with you. We're talking. I'm gaining my knowledge. I'm figuring out all the pros and cons where I kind of feel off that. But it's just like, I'm trying to start getting some money. I'm trying to start getting these people to start trusting me so I can start getting some loans for my businesses, just everything that comes with having great credit.
Right.
So how do I start to build it? Like, how do I get there?
Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we're going to pull up your credit reports. Like I previously stated, we're just going to crunch your entire reports. We're going to go over everything, the personal information, the good, the bad, where there's room for improvement, and we'll get the ball rolling. So where do you currently monitor your credit?
Like as far as the different sites?
Yes.
I don't. You.
Oh, that's fine. I'm affiliates with a company where we can go ahead and pull up your credit reports.
I did Credit Karma before and different stuff like that. And I have reports from when I went to previous, let's say if I was trying to get a car or something like that.
Yeah, well, no, you definitely want it to be within the past 30 days because with all your creditors, it updates monthly. So we want to pull the most recent report. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get your reports pulled and we'll go from there.
All right, well, how do I get started? I know it's going to cost money. I know, all of that. Everybody got to eat. So what is that? What is the payment plan? Or what is that payment plan? What is
So the first thing I have to do is I have to make sure you're even a credit repair candidate. Some people think they know what's on their reports and they have no idea what's on it because there is statute of limitations when it comes into things being on your report. So that's why we have to start with the free consultation first. We have to pull those reports, take a look at it, and then we'll go ahead and go over your payment options. I'm very fair with my pricing because I never want to put anyone in debt while trying to get them out. So we'll discuss pricing later. Let's first pull up your reports and make sure you're even a credit repair candidate.
All right, well, that sounds good. I mean, I got a lot of knowledge of being here. I ain't gonna say wasting 30 minutes of your time.
Oh, never wasting. Did you learn anything?
I mean, I learned a lot.
Then you wasted 0 minutes of my time.
So
Good.
I definitely thank you for all of that information. I'm gonna get back with my people and then get back with you.
You're here now. Let's go. Let's get the reports pulled up.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Collections account versus charge-off. Many people don't understand what the difference is between a collections account and a charge-off. A charge-off is when the original creditor has the debt and they discharge it off as bad debt, which is what it is. A collections account is when the original creditor sells the debt to a third-party company, which is a collections agency. And then at that point, oftentimes when you look at your credit reports, you will see XYZ charge-off, and then you will also see ABC collections agency. So that's the difference between a collections and a charge-off. Credit utilization. It's very important to make sure you keep low balances on your credit cards. Ideally, you do not want to carry over a balance from month to month. But if you do, remember, you want to keep it to under 30% of whatever the limit is, because anything over 30% is considered a high balance. So let's say you have a credit card where the limit is $1,000. You never want to carry over a balance that's greater than $300. Reason being is once you hit that 30% mark and above, your scores will begin to drop. So it's very important to keep your credit utilization down. When's the best time to pay your credit card bills? I have many clients that always tell me, I paid down on my debt, but it doesn't show on my updated credit report. That's because you probably paid your bill when it was due or a couple of days before. Unfortunately, that's not the balance that gets reported to the bureaus. Here's the breakdown, and here's what your credit card companies don't want you to know. So you have a statement date. The statement date is basically the ending of your statement period, where they factor in what your balance is, what the minimum payment is, and how much interest to tack on. And then they'll send you out a bill and let you know when that minimum payment is due and by what date. So you always want to pay your bills off a day or two before your statement date. The balance on your statement date is what actually gets reported to the bureaus. So you want to pay it off a day or two ahead of time. Then don't use your credit card for about a week. The reason why is because it's going through that utilization period. So once that week is up, then you're free to go ahead and use your credit cards. But don't worry about a late payment because your statement date is always before your due date. So if you pay it by your statement date, you are paying your bill on time. Late payments. It's really, really, really important to pay your bills on time. One 30-day late payment can literally drop your score 30, 40, 50, 60 points. Because the way your scores are calculated, your payment history holds the most weight over your entire reports. In fact, it's 35% of the way your scores are calculated. So you want to always make sure you pay your bills on time. The easiest way to make sure you do so is set everything on auto payment. You shouldn't be spending money that you don't have anyway, so you should be very, very, very comfortable with setting all of your bills on auto pay for at least the minimum payment. That way you can avoid having a late payment because, like I said, late payments will drop your score faster than anything else. How long does items stay on your credit report? Typically, items will stay on your credit report anywhere between 7 to 10 years. It just depends on what the item is. Credit scores versus what's on your actual reports. Stop focusing so much time and energy on your credit scores. Let me say that again. Stop focusing so much time and energy on your actual credit scores. Yes, your scores are important, but more so what's on the actual reports itself is a little bit more important. Here's why. When you go to buy a home, when you go to finance a vehicle, they're going to look at your overall reports, not just your scores. They want to make sure you've made those payments on time. They want to make sure you have those low balances. So you want to focus on getting the negatives removed, not adding more negatives. You also want to make sure you're paying your bills on time. You want to make sure you're keeping your balances low. You want to make sure you're showing these creditors that you know how to handle and maintain debt. Because if you can't do that, your scores are not going to go up. So remember, we're going to stop focusing so much time and energy on our scores. We're going to focus on the good stuff. How do I maintain this debt? What's good debt? What's bad debt? Let me make sure I pay my bills on time. Let me make sure I keep low balances. As long as you develop those good habits and you keep at it, naturally, your scores are going to rise. So remember, stop focusing so much time and energy on your credit scores. Authorized users. Another reason why you really want to get your credit in order and make sure you understand the way things work is that way you can help your kids. Once your kid turns 15, 16, that teenage age, what you can do is you can add them on as an authorized user to your existing credit cards, and they can pretty much piggyback off of your good credit. By the time they turn 18, 19, 20, they'll already have established credit. You can teach them those good credit habits the way I'm going to teach you, and they'll be good to go. Make sure you monitor your credit regularly. The reason why is because oftentimes some of us may have the same name or similar name as someone close to us, and sometimes their information can get reported onto your credit reports on accident. So it's very important that you check your credit reports regularly. You make sure your personal information is all current in terms of your addresses, the way your name is spelled, written, employers and whatnot. And you also want to look at your accounts just to make sure you were not accidentally reported late or no one else's information is showing up on your credit reports. Why do my scores change based off of where I check them at? The reason why is because there's several different scoring modules. You may check your scores on a free site that will show you Advantage 2.0, in which your scores may tend to appear to be a little higher. Then you may check it on a site like MyFICO where you have to pay. Anything that's MyFICO is closest to your actual true credit score. But remember what we said about not focusing so much time and energy into your actual credit scores, but what's on your report. And remember, there are 3 different credit bureaus and your scores will vary based off of Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, because not all creditors report to all credit bureaus. Alrighty, everyone. Again, this is Brittni Berry. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. I dropped a lot of game. I dropped a lot of knowledge to you. We talked about the importance of credit repair, how to pull your reports. We talked about collections, charge-offs, everything. So please, if you need your own personalized consultation, if you have any questions, if your friends have any questions, anybody have any questions, make sure you contact me, okay? Email address, info@gainknowledgefs.com. Instagram, gainknowledgefs. Facebook, gainknowledgefs. Call me. I'm not going to tell you my number, but my number is going to be posted. Any questions, I'm here for you. Again, we're out here in sunny Los Angeles, California, where I'm from, my city. Let's go. Let's get your credit right. And we out.